Greetings, friends and fellow aliens. My name is David. I'm a YouTuber, I'm an author, I'm here in front of you, grateful that you have joined me on this channel where I talk about INFJ stuff and writing stuff and creativity and all of the cool things about psychology and fun stuff that we all like to just sort of dig into. Today, I want to talk about being an INFJ and being a man. I'm going to speak directly to my INFJ brothers out there. Because I know how tough it can be, and I know how you can struggle, especially being a sensitive man in a very insensitive world. So let's get a few things cleared up about all that, and we'll get into it. I want to get into a little bit of the psychology of things and a little bit about you as a sensitive person and personal relationships and just how to navigate a world that is not terribly suited to the way you are. I got you. Let's do this. Oh, here we go. The talk about being an INFJ and masculinity. Before I begin, I'm a self-published author. My book is out. The link is at the top of the description. It is on Amazon. It's got a bunch of good reviews. Actually just got my first mediocre review and I'm legit really excited about it. I feel like I finally made it. It's sort of like a rite of passage, you know? But they're largely stellar and I'm really happy about it. INFJ main character, supernatural, really cool stuff. And I'm sure that you'll enjoy it if you pick it up, if you like the kind of stuff that we talk about here. So thank you. So let's talk about masculinity and being an INFJ. This is something that, honestly, it's come up a few times and I never really, it was just always something that was sort of in the back of my mind until a recent comment, and I'm sorry, I forgot who left the comment, but it was in a way talking about being a sensitive person and an INFJ in a different country where sensitivity is looked down upon in a way. I feel like we've made great strides as a culture in embracing people that are able to speak an emotional language. And things like compassion and sensitivity are not the way they were looked down upon, but they still are. There is a culture that, and you can call it whatever you want, call it toxic masculinity, call it just, I don't know, call it whatever you like, but it's a culture of this looking down upon men who show themselves to be sensitive people. As a very sensitive person, I have a lot to say about this. First thing I want to cover is just as an INFJ, why are you a sensitive man as an INFJ? And look, I've seen all the statistics and stuff like that. Not even statistics, but I see all the stupid things out there that are like, well, INFJs are the rarest type. And by the way, there's a difference between personality type and your personality, right? So that one of them is your cognitive process, which is what an INFJ is. The other one is your personality. Okay, so you can be an INFJ and you can have a friend who is an INFJ and you can rightfully so despise candy corn and they may love it, in which case you shouldn't trust them and you should just end the friendship immediately. I really don't like candy corn. You already knew that. So there are differences. Now, as an INFJ, part of your cognitive process, right, your main way of viewing the world is through introverted intuition, which means that you have gut feelings about things. As a subconscious process, you are putting together all sorts of pieces and things about the world around you and mashing them together and finding patterns and finding all kinds of things that help you form your view of the world. One of the ways that you interact with that world is through extroverted feeling, which is your second function. Extroverted feeling is the emotions and feelings of those around you. That's what gives you empathy as an INFJ. It's taking into consideration the harmony of another person, their relationship with you, their relationships with others. Their relationship with themselves. If you're an INFJ and you have a close friend and they're going through a period of self-loathing, that cuts you. That can deeply, deeply affect you. Negative emotions for an INFJ are almost always amplified, it seems, because they are very intense. And we are empathic people. And so we are going to absorb those and we're going to feel them strongly than a lot of other people would. So here you are as an INFJ, equipped to be sensitive in this world. But then here's our culture, right? It's NASCAR, beer, football, titties. And so if you're not within that group, or if you're within a circle of people and that's the way they want to behave and be, I mean, more power to them, but you're going to feel a little out of place in those circumstances. My entire life, I felt out of place around other guys. I didn't have a large circle of male friends, maybe just a couple at a time. If I even had close male friends through any kind of a period, I rarely have had a close male friend in my life because we just don't tend to get along. It's not like I can't hang out with other dudes. Of course you can. I can hang out with anybody, and I can get along with anybody because we are introverted people. Just, you know what I mean. But here you are as a sensitive man in a Western culture. So think about these phrases, right? You're not supposed to like pink. Put that down. Or big boys don't cry. Don't show them your weakness. Quit acting like a little girl. All of these things, first of all, irritate the hell out of me. Second of all, it causes somebody who's a man to be looked down upon, made fun of, called names, knocked down for being sensitive, for not being the macho Marlboro man riding around on his horse with his scruffy beard and all that kind of stuff, who like barely ever talks and keeps everything bottled up and inside. What's good about that? I mean, seriously, what's good about that? Why is it expected that men should have to hide their emotions, bottle it up, pack it down? Why is it expected that if you're a guy, you just don't watch girl movies? It's sure as hell not supposed to cry at a movie or at a song or at the end of a TV show. Why are you seen as weak for being in tune with your feelings and emotions? How is that weak? I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but to me, it seems like being in tune with yourself, accepting how you feel about certain things, and being able to feel strongly and have a great deal of compassion for situations and people, that's a strength. It's not a weakness. So let's cover being an INFJ and being in friendships with other guys, right? You may get together, you may do the things, and these other guys might be all beer, titties, football, NASCAR, right? And you may not be that. You may be like, well, I listen to Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata and I weep in the shower. In which case, like, I totally get you, by the way. Totally. It's a lovely piece. It really is. As with everything, though, there's a balance. You can be in that environment with your guy friends, and you can be partying and having all kinds of fun. And you can still be the sensitive person, the compassionate person. And when things, at some point, if ever, go too far, you're the one who steps up because you have consideration for somebody else's feelings. When somebody is downtrodden or has been teased or made fun of for any reason, as the INFJ, that beautiful, idealistic thinker that you are, and that sensitive person who is compassionate and who understands the emotions of others, you're the one that can cut through that mob and cut through that crowd, pushing that person down, reach out your hand, pick them up, dust them off, and be like, you know what? We got this, and I got you. That's the kind of ability you have as an empathic guy. That's a strength. Use that sensitivity of yours Use it to give people a different perspective. Use it to be like, hey, wait. Like, let's not just sit here and call somebody a sissy because they like pink or for any reason. Oh, just because they're not like you, they're not valid? That's ridiculous. Last week, I had a great night with my best friend, and we watched a movie called The Lake House with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Now, I don't mind sensitive romantic movies. I love sensitive romantic movies because I like anything that will make me feel. I like a song that hits me so hard I want to cry in the car, and I do. I like a piece of music that moves me in a way that I can't forget. I like a movie that impacts me in such a way that I feel it in my heart. Like it just ripped it out and was like, here you go. This affected you really deeply. And I just never want to forget it. I love things like that affect me so deeply on an emotional level. Now I knew when The Lake House started that it was going to have an ending that would have tears coming down my face. And sure enough, watch the whole movie, get to the end, and there's tears coming down my face. And because it hits you in such a way, you have that empathy, right? As an INFJ, you have that extroverted feeling. You're invested in the emotions of these characters that you've been watching for the last hour and a half, and then coming to some kind of a resolution, and the meaning behind it and the depth of the emotion behind it can hit you in such a way. I was mad about it. I'm like, stupid movie making me cry, but I loved it. It was great. Plus, Keanu. Like, you gotta love Keanu. I even have a John Wick Funko Pop, and it's got his little dog too. I'm just saying. Now, when it comes to relationships, as a sensitive INFJ male, as you mature as an INFJ, you start to lean a bit more on your logical processes. Your introverted thinking just you become more in tune with it. And I think that's a natural progression of just having experiences in life, right? You're not all emotion. You're able to think logically. You're able to set boundaries a little bit better. You're able to navigate life in a more balanced way. I decided a relatively long time ago that I wanted to be the type of man that would really hold on to all of that sensitivity. I'm a romantic. I write that way. I feel that way. It's just who I am. And I wanted to make sure that I could balance that. And one of the ways I balanced that was with martial arts. So I wanted to become the kind of guy that could watch The Lake House and cry and be cool with it. And I mean, shoot, like one of my favorite shows to watch with the kids was My Little Pony. Like, who doesn't freaking love My Little Pony? It's positive. It's hysterical. Like, it's got good messages. What, because I watch a show with some ponies in it, like I'm less of a dude? No. I ran my own martial arts studio for over a decade. I can turn another human being into soup with my bare hands. I can break any bone in another person's body in under a few seconds. So I don't give a shit what you think about me watching My Little Pony. Like, I'm good. And I think that's the thing that as guys we have to sort of do. We have to balance ourselves. Like, you have an inherent power as a man, right? You have that ability. You have societal expectations, of course, but you have strength. You have physical and internal strength. But if you're just all physical strength without sensitivity and compassion, that's a recipe for being a douchebag. Likewise, if you have all sensitivity without physical strength and mental fortitude, you're going to be a doormat. You don't want to be either of those things. You want to make sure that you have the balance as an INFJ male. When it comes to romantic relationships, as an INFJ and as a male, the right person needs to see you. And that can be really tricky because you, as that romantic person, when you have somebody that you are deeply in love with, you're going to want to take your heart out of your chest, hold it out in the most vulnerable way possible, and say, look, I feel the way I feel, and I want this to be yours. When you're that vulnerable, that you are offering your heart to somebody, knowing full well that they may or may not accept it, and understanding that you could get hurt very badly, that is strength. You are not a coward. You have endless amounts of courage because you are putting yourself and your heart on the line and saying, look, this is me. All my faults, all my flaws, all of my vulnerability right here. And you may accept it and you may not, but I'm the strong one because I'm taking this step even though it's scary. My sweet, sweet INFJ friend, that's strength. Strength is not bottling up your emotions, shoving them down, and being like, yeah, I guess I kind of like you, Netflix and chill or whatever. That's not strength. That's just superficial. Being able to communicate, have a conversation with somebody, a direct conversation about how you feel, that's brave. Because you know you may be rejected. And you know that you may get your heart broken. But you take the step and you move forward. That is real strength. So if you take anything from this video, I hope it's an understanding that as that sensitive person, as that person who has such a handle on compassion and on the feelings of others, and is so willing to help and help others and lift them up with your inner spirit, you are strong. You are not weak. You are not all of those things. You, in fact, are the strongest. You're one of the leaders. You're one of the people that can understand somebody who's been knocked down and who's in a state of despair. And you have a singular ability to lift that person up. And you have a singular ability to be a balanced human being, to be sensitive, to be loving, to be caring, but also to be strong and to be somebody that other people can depend on, to be somebody who holds your word, and to be somebody who is there and there for the right reasons. Stay strong out there, my sweet, sweet INFJ friends. Stay strong and just be that person that you are. Be okay with being that sensitive person and understand that people aren't going to understand you. They're not going to accept it. But you're stronger. So be stronger. Thank you. Thank you for watching this. And if anything I said in here resonates, please write a comment and just let me know. Let me know your thoughts on this. In particular, because look, there's a lot of guys that watch this channel. This channel is probably 60-40 female to male, right? Women, I'd love for you to chime in and show some of the guys that are on here that are sensitive guys that are watching these videos. Explain a little bit about your outlook on this thing. I'm genuinely curious. Do you find sensitivity to be a strength, or do you see sensitivity as a weakness? I desperately want to know. I really can't wait to read the comments. And look, I fully expect some douchebaggery to happen in the comment thread. Don't worry about it. I got you. The last video I did took off. I've been getting a ton of new subscribers out of it. I'm really glad a lot of these people have found me, and that it has impacted people in such a great way. That came with a lot of jerks that I just ended up writing passive-aggressive comments to and then banning. So, I got you. All right. Don't worry about those people out there. This is a safe place for all of us as our sensitive feeling selves to just kind of hang out in and just be together. So thank you all for watching. I can't wait to dig into the comments and talk to as many of you as I can. I am going to be doing a Q&A very soon. So please hop over, or at least follow me on Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram thing somewhere around here. And I'll be putting up a post on there to ask for questions. Don't put them in the comments here because I can't do that and keep track of all the regular comments on the video and question comments at the same time. So there will be a place for those. Look for the community post on YouTube and for the Instagram post. I would truly love to answer some of your questions and hang out with you all. So once again, thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see you in the comments, and I will see you again on video very, very soon.